All right, so what we're doing today is section 4.5, the graph of a rational function. And we're going to look at analyzing the graph of a rational function for both looking at it on the rational function itself and looking from a graph, both directions. So first off, I want to make sure you understand that there are holes in rational functions at times. And a hole is a removable discontinuity or break in the graph. So if P of x and Q of x have a common factor x minus a, then there will be a hole in the graph at x equals a. So if you look at the graph here, you can see there is a hole in the graph right here at 2 at 2, 6. So that means that line discontinues at that point and then it comes back after that point. So that is the hole or a discontinuity in this graph. Now you can find this using the function by factoring it. So what we would do is we would factor this function. So I would factor each side, the top and the bottom, the denominator, the numerator separately. So the first thing I would do here is pull out the negative. And that's going to switch the signs of everything on the inside because it makes it easier to factor when the polynomial begins with a positive. So then I'm going to break this down. And I know that's going to be x's. And in this case, it's going to be my factors 4 and 2. And because 2 is positive, that means the bigger number should be positive. So that would be the factors for the top half. So my r of x would factor into negative x plus 4 times x minus 2. And then we want to factor the bottom. We want to factor the denominator. So that would be x squared minus 3x plus 2, which would break down into, since this is positive and the middle is negative, that means they both have to be a subtraction, 2 and 1. So the bottom would be x minus 2 times x minus 1. And what you're going to notice is that there is a factor at the top and a factor at the bottom that is the same. And that factor that is the same, that is where our hole is. We would set it equal to 0, which would mean x has to equal 2. And if you look at our hole, it is indeed located when x equals 2. Now to find the actual location of the hole, okay, the location of the hole, you're going to take your simplified function. That means we're not going to use the x minus 2, and we're going to put 2 in for x. So it's going to become r of 2 equals, and we're going to keep the top as negative, and then we'll put the 2 in for the x plus 4, and on the bottom we'll be doing the x minus 1, so it's going to be 2 minus 1. And if we simplify, 2 plus 4 is 6, so that's negative 6. And this should be a negative here. I should have put a negative there because we went down. Divide it by 2 minus 1, which is 1. So this tells us when x is 2, y is negative 6, and that's where our hole is. Not every rational function has a hole. If there are no common factors in the denominator and the numerator, then that function does not have a whole.